Bonjour tout le monde, c'est moi Dana Jones and welcome back to CARIBACAD where we help you pass CSEC French with flying colors. And yes, this is the channel that helps you stress less and prepare for exam success. So if you're taking CSEC French, make sure you subscribe to this channel. So in our previous video, we went in detail as we were talking about the CSEC French syllabus and exam format. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on paper 1. So if you want tips and tricks that you won't find anywhere else on YouTube or just anywhere else on the internet, make sure that you stay to the very end of this video. So without further ado, we're getting right into the video. So paper 1 is the multiple choice section of the examination. It accounts for 25% of your entire grade and is broken up into two parts. Part A, which is the listening comprehension section, and part B, which is the reading section of the examination. Each carry 30 questions valued at 1 mark. So the entire marks you can get out from paper 1 is 60 marks. Okay, I have some pointers here for you, so listen up and listen keenly. Écoutez bien. On the day of the exam, in addition to your test booklet, you should have an answer sheet. Each item in this test has 4 suggested answers, lettered A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, and D. You should read each item you are about to answer and decide which choice is best. On your answer sheet, first, find the number which corresponds to your item and shade the space having the same letter as the answer you have chosen. For example, la France est A, un pays, B, une colonie, C, une ville, D, un continent. Alright, I'm giving you a few seconds to answer that. Although it's an example, you can take some practice out of it. The answer is A. Pro tip as it regards shading. Shading the answer is very important. Listen to me, and this tip is coming from someone who topped French, CSEC French, in the entire Caribbean during my year. Now, this is very important that you shade and blacken in your answer. Very dark and very vividly. Makes sense. It makes no sense actually that you study and you do all this practice, you attend lessons, and then on the day of the examination, you make the silly mistake of not shading in the answers dark enough or just putting a line through the question. So you might be asking, what is she talking about? Let me show you what Dana is talking about here. So here I have with me some, let's pretend this is the answer sheet. This is obviously a blank one. And as you saw in the example, la France est un pays. So that would be la lettre A. You need to blacken in or shade in the answer like this. Don't just put a line like that. No. Don't just half shade it or put an X to it. You need to blacken it like this. Remember, it's not an actual human being that's going to be going through all the answer sheets and going to be ticking and marking. It's going to be a computer. It's going to be quick and fast. You're going to put in the papers, and the computer is going to provide the grade. So if you can't blacken the answer well enough, the computer is not going to read it clearly, and you might not be rewarded the mark at all. So listen to Dana when she says CSEC top CSEC student of the Caribbean, when I say to blacken in the answer very well. Very good pointer here. Don't want you to overlook it. All right. Also, make sure that when you erase the answer, you erase it well enough. Let's say you're changing answer from A to B, you erase it clearly and then you change answer and blacken or darken another letter, or B in that case. So also make sure you use a pencil to darken in your answers. Some students will use a pen. I'm not sure as to whether the system reads pens or so forth, but they always recommend using a pencil, and it also makes sense to use a pencil because if you make a mistake, you can easily erase it and put in the other answer. So listen to these tips very clearly. They work, they get results. There will be more videos for paper 1 coming out soon, so in order to ensure that you don't miss these videos, make sure you turn on your notifications so that you will be alerted when those videos come out. Also, tell us what you think. Do you practice with paper 1s using the answer sheets? This would also be a good tip for you as well. Using when you have your papers online, you have, let's say, your ebook in front of you and you're practicing, you can find paper 1 answer sheets, and you can use those and darken it in. Just have good practice. Alright, so in this portion of the video, we're going to be focusing on part A. Part A is 45 minutes long and has 4 sections. Now listen carefully for the instructions for section 1, part A. For example, you will hear "Le garçon va courir." You should decide on the answer and then shade it in. You should decide on the answer and then shade it in the answer booklet. In this case, the answer is D, specifically. Now section 2 of part A. In this section, you will hear a number of sentences. Each sentence will be read and will be followed by 1 question or incomplete statement. 4 suggested answers for each section are printed in the test booklet. For each question, choose the answer which best completes the question or statement. For example, you will hear, "Maman, j'ai soif." Maman, j'ai soif. Que veut cette personne? Que veut cette personne? After looking at the suggested responses, you should select the best one and blacken it. A, une pomme. B, une boisson. C, un médecin. D, un biscuit. Section 3. Instructions. In this section, you will hear a series of public announcements or selections followed by a number of questions. Each announcement or selection will be read twice. For each question, there is a choice of 4 responses or completions. Select the best response and shade the corresponding space on your answer sheet. There is no sample question for this section. However, although CXC does not provide one, you will not be short of one today because I'm going to be providing you with one right now in this video. So listen up, écoutez bien, and we're about to start right now. But wait. Before we start right now, I want you to give this video a like if you appreciate me doing that, giving you some extra stuff and some bonuses to help you practice for your exam. So just give it a thumbs up or a like if you really like that and appreciate that. First, sample selection. Écoutez, le parc ferme à 5h30 de l'après-midi. N'oubliez pas vos objets personnels et ceux de vos enfants. Écoutez, le parc ferme à 5h30 de l'après-midi. N'oubliez pas vos objets personnels et ceux de vos enfants. Où sont les gens? Que passera à 5h30? Que doivent faire les personnes maintenant? simple de. Les filles, nous devons quitter la maison à 5 heures pour arriver au stade à l'heure. Le concert commencera à 6 heures et je suis sûre qu'il y aura beaucoup de monde car les 3 meilleurs groupes vont jouer. Les filles, nous devons quitter la maison à 5 heures pour arriver au stade à l'heure. Le concert commencera à 6 heures et je suis sûre qu'il y aura beaucoup de monde car les 3 meilleurs groupes vont jouer. À quelle heure vont-elles quitter la maison? Où vont ces gens? Pourquoi y aura-t-il beaucoup de monde là-bas? Alright, so if you want to know the answers for these questions, the link will be provided in the description down below. Section 4 of Part A. So Part A is coming to a close. This is the final section of Part A. So listen clearly and keenly. A reading passage will be read to you by the examiner or your Spanish teacher, let's say in a mock examination. So I'm going to be reading to you the instructions that they will be reading to you in the examination. Okay, so you have an idea of what the examination will be like and what of course is expected of you. I shall read the passage straight through once. Listen carefully while I read. I shall then instruct you to look at the questions in English on the text. 3 minutes will be allowed for you to read the questions and make notes. There are 2 groups of questions. I shall read the passage again, but this time in 2 parts. When I have finished reading part A, but not before, you will be given 5 minutes in which to select your answers for the first group of questions. You must select the best answer and back in the corresponding letter on the answer sheet provided. This procedure will then be repeated for part B. I shall then read the passage a 3rd time straight through and you will then be allowed to. This is another tip for the multiple choice paper 1 in general. You have to do a lot of practice as it relates to your listening skills en français. You can't just be writing past papers, only just writing things down and not actually doing any active listening. You have to be listening to French speakers, and nowadays it's so easy to do that because you have Netflix. That I used to watch a lot of shows and things like that helped me really grasp my French listening ability. I also watch a ton of videos on YouTube. I also did a lot of listening to music and songs and really immersing in the culture, and that was the skills that were the skills needed. Those were the skills needed for me to top French in the Caribbean. So if you want me to have more videos that go into depth on my strategy and how you can do very well and gain yourself a grade 1 and straight A profile in CSEC French and heck top the Caribbean like I did, then leave a comment down below and I will be sure reading them and making videos on your suggestions. Alright, now for part B. It's 30 minutes long and of course contains 30 questions like part A. Now for part B, it's a reading section. As mentioned before, it does require some comprehension of the French language and really requires you to exercise your grammar. So you need to know grammar and lexis, you need to know vocabulary, you need to be practicing your tenses, past tense, future tense, all of the French, of the tenses in French, and the modes as well. We're going to go into depth on those topics in further videos. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on these videos. Exams are fast approaching and you need the preparation and as much tips and advice as possible, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Alright, so listen carefully for the instructions of part A, section 1, and it is 4 sections for part B as well. Each of the following sentences contains a blank space. Below each are 4 choices. Select the one which is best in each case, then shade the corresponding space on the answer sheet. Instructions for section 2, part B. In the conversation below, select the word or phrase which will make each sentence grammatically correct, then shade the corresponding space on the answer sheet. Now, section 3. The scenario below contains blank spaces indicating that words are left out. For each blank space, there are 4 suggested answers. After reading the scenario, carefully select the choice that is best in the context for each blank space. Then shade the corresponding space on the answer sheet. And remember to use the shading strategy that I was mentioning before in the earlier part of this video. And finally, section 4, and I'm going to be providing some examples for section 4, so make sure you watch closely. And as mentioned before, all of the answers will be linked in the description box down below. Here are the instructions for part B, section 4. Read the following selections carefully for comprehension. Each selection is followed by a number of incomplete statements or questions. Select the completion or answer that is best in the section. Then shade the corresponding space on the answer sheet. There is no sample question for this section. Although there is no sample question, as I said, I'm going to be providing you with one. So that's going to be popping up on the screen sometime now. Alright, so just a quick summary of paper 1, CSEC French. It is 115 minutes long, marked out of 60, 2 parts, part A, listening section, part B, reading section. Each part has 4 sections. That's essentially it. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video if you haven't already. And remember students, exam preparation reduces frustration. Au revoir, à tout à l'heure.